מיום ליום ישועתו. שירו לאדוני, שירו לאדוני, שירו לאדוני שקדש. 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 מזמור שיר ליום השבת. מזמור שיר ליום השבת. שימחני אדוני בפועלך, במעשה ידיך ארנן. הגדלו מעשיך אדוני מאוד עמדו, מחשבותיך מזמור שיר, מזמור שיר ליום השבת. מזמור שיר, מזמור שיר ליום השבת. ועשתיך לי במשפט ובצדק ובחסד וברחמים וברצון
ורסתיך לי לעולם ורסתיך לי במשפט ובצדק ובחסד וברחמים וברצון
ורסתיך לי באמונה וידעת את אדוני ורסתיך לי באמונה וידעת את אדוני
יחד נדע
כן נדע
את אדוני
כן נדע יחד נדע את אדוני ורסתיך לי באמונה וידעת את אדוני ורסתיך לי באמונה יחד נדע את אדוני יחד נדע את אדוני יחד נדע את אדוני Nay na 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 nay 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 na nay nay na 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 nay 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 na 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 nay 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 na nay nay na 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 nay 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 na 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 nay 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 na nay nay na 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 nay 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 na 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 nay 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 na nay nay na 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 nay nay Adon olam asher malach b'terem kol yetzir nivra נעשה בחפצו כל אזי מלך שמו נקרא אזי מלך שמו נקרא ואחרי ככלות הכל לבדו ימלוך נורא והוא היה והוא הווה והוא יהיה בתפארה והוא אחד ואין שני לעם שלו לאחמירה ולראשית ולתחתית ולא ההוד והמזרח אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציר נברא נעשה בחפצו כל אזי מלך שמו נקרא והוא אלי וחי גואלי וצור חרי ועת צרה והוא ניצי ובנותי בנת כוסי ביום work hard. Grant us the strength and hope to carry on. Keep us free and safe. Give shelter to our souls. God will always be with me. I shall not fear at all. Adon olam, asher emalach, b'terem kol yetzir nivra, yetzir nivra, le'et nasa, b'chefzo kol, azay melech shmo nikra, azay melech shmo nikra. Yain arananai, nai, 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 yain arananai, nai. Yain arananai, nai, 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 yain arananai, nai. Yain arananai, nai, 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 yain arananai, nai. Yain arananai, nai, 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 yain arananai, nai. Yay da da dai 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 dai. Yay da da dai 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 da dai. Yay la da dai da da dai dai. Yay dai da da dai yay lie. Ya da dai da da dai dai. Yay da da dai 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 da dai. Yay la da dai da da dai dai. Yay da 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 dai hay lie. Ya da dai 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 da dai. Ya da dai la la da dai. Yay da dai da dai, yay da da dai, halai. Ya da dai 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 da dai, ya da dai 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 da dai, ya la dai dai da dai, ya la da dai halai. Ya la da dai 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 dai, ya la da dai 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 da dai, ya la da dai da da dai dai. Yay da da dai halai. La da dai 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 dai, la da dai 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 da dai, la da dai da da dai dai, yay da da dai halai, la dai dai da dai, la da dai 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 da dai, la da dai 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 da dai, la da da dai halai, la dai 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 da dai, la da dai 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 da dai. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 halai. La 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 halai. La 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Lai ha la lai ha lai, ya lai 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 hai la lai, ya la la lai 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 la lai, ya la lai lai hai la lai, ya lai la la lai ha lai, ya la lai lai hai la lai, ya la la lai 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 la lai, ya la lai lai hai la lai, ya lai la la lai ha lai, ya la la lai 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 lai. La 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 la, 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 la 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 la.
Shabbat Shalom. It is been a beautiful day and a beautiful week. With not just the weather, but everything that is going on in our world. Many blessings. My own personal is got shot number 2 this morning, and the arm is feeling pretty good. So I am feeling incredibly blessed as we begin our Shabbat, and we welcome Shabbat with our ministering angels coming and welcoming us and accompanying us into our homes. Shalom Aleichem.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Yashareh, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Huachem leshalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Melech Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu leshalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Melech Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Zetchem leshalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Melech Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Each of us enters this moment with a different need. Some hearts are full of peace and gratitude, overflowing with love and joy. They are eager to confront the day, to make the world a better place. They are recovering from illness or have escaped misfortune, and we rejoice with them. Some hearts ache with sorrow. Disappointments weigh heavily on them. Families have been broken, loved ones lie on a bed of pain. Death has taken a cherished loved one. May our presence and caring bring them comfort. Some hearts are embittered. Ideals are betrayed and mocked, answers sought in vain. Life has lost its meaning and value. May the knowledge that we too are searching restore our hope and renew our faith.
Zamru l'Adonai Bechino Bechol Zimbra Zamru l'Adonai Bechino Kol Zimbra Samru Adonai Bechino Kol Zimbra Samru Adonai Bechino Bechino Bekol Zimra Tambrur Adonai Bechino Bechino Bekol Zimra Adonai Bechino Bechino Bekol Zimra Adonai Bechino בכינו בכל זמרה.
Sing praise to Adonai with the lyre and a melodious song. Adonai Ozle Amo Yitain, Adonai Yivarechet, Tomo V'Shalom. Adonai, sovereign of time, bestow strength upon your people. Bless our people with peace.
Adonai Oz Amo Yitain, Adonai Yivarech et ha'amo. Adonai Oz Amo Yitain, Adonai Yivarech et ha'amo. לך דודי לקראת קלה, יאללה לי, יאללה לי, יאללה לי, בני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת קלה, יאללה לי, יאללה לי, יאללה לי, בני שבת נקבלה. יא אלי אלי
שמור וזכור בדיבור אחד, השמיענו אל המיוחד. אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשם ולתפארת ולתהילה.
ואדון לקראת קלה, יאללה לי, יאללה לי, יאללה לי, בני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת קלה, יאללה לי, יאללה לי, יאללה לי, בני שבת נקבלה. די לקראת שבת לכוונלך, כי היא מקור המברכה. בראש מקדם נסוכה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תהילה. לך דודי לקראת קלה, יאללה לי, יאללה לי, יאללה לי, בני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת קלה, יאללה לי, יאללה לי, יאללה לי, בני שבת נקבלה.
התעוררי, התעוררי, יבעורך קומי אורי, אורי אורי, שיר דברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך ניגע. לך דודי לקראת קלה, יאללה לי, יאללה לי, יאללה לי, בני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת קלה, יאללה לי, יאללה לי, יאללה לי, בני שבת נקבלה. We rise, we turn to the door, we welcome the Shabbat bride.
בואי ושלום, עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובסולה, תוך אמוני סגולה, בואי חלה, בואי חלה, יאללה יאללה, אחד דודי לקראת קלה, יאללה יאללה יאללה, מי שבת נקבלה, יאללה יאללה, אחד דודי לקראת קלה, יאללה יאללה יאללה, מי שבת
We welcome Shabbat not just with ministering angels, not just as a bride, but with the light that comes from within us as we light our Shabbat candles.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר קידשנו במצוותיו וציוונו להדליק נר של שבת.
This is an hour of change. Within it, we stand uncertain on the border of light. So we draw back or cross over. Where shall our hearts turn? So we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over. This is an hour of change, and within it we stand quietly on the border of light. What lies before us? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over?
ברכו את אדוני המבורך, ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד. ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד. שמע ישראל אדוני אלוהינו אדוני אחד. שמע ישראל אדוני אלוהינו אדוני אחד. שמע ישראל אדוני אלוהינו אדוני אחד. שמע ישראל אדוני אלוהינו
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
אדוני אלוהיכם באמת.
Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before we ever stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, and that the winding way to that promise passes through a wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together.
בי חמוך באלים אדוני, בי כמוך בעדר וקודש, תורה תהילה, אוסף אלה, מלכותך ראו בניך, פוקעיה לפני משה ומרים, שרי ענו ואמרו, אדוני אינו בעולם ועד. יאי לי 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 לי, יאי לי לי לי, ידה דה דה, ידה דה דה, יאי לי 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 לי, יאי לי לי לי, ידה דה דה. ונאמר כי פרנה את יעקב, גדול חזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storm. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Ashkiveinu Adonai Eloheinu, Ashkiveinu Beshalom, Ashkiveinu Adonai Eloheinu, Ashkiveinu Beshalom, Be'amidenu, Shomreinu lechaim, Ufros aleinu, Sukat שומעך השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו השכיבנו shalom let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storm. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storm.
People of Israel shall keep Shabbat, observing Shabbat in every generation as a covenant for all time. It is a sign forever between me and the people of Israel. For in 6 days the eternal God made heaven and earth, and on the seventh day God ceased from labor and rested.
שמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם ביני ובני ישראל אותי לעולם בששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ וביום השביעי וביום השביעי וביום השביעי שבת וינפש יאי לי 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 לי
We rise for tefillah for Amita.
שפתי תפתח ופי יגיד תהילתך ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו ואמותינו אלוהי אברהם אלוהי יצחק אלוהי יעקב אלוהי שרה אלוהי רבקה אלוהי רחל אלוהי לאה האל הגדול הגיבור והנורא אל עליון כומר חסדים טובים וקונה הכל וזוכר חסי אבות ואימהות ומביא גאולה לבני בניכם למען שמו ואהבה מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן ברוך אתה אדוני מגן אברהם ועזר השרה אתה גיבור עולם אדוני מחיה כל אתה רב להושיע משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם מכלכל חיים בחסד מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים סומך נופלים ורופא חולים ומטיל אסורים ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר מי כמוך בעל גבורות מלך ממיד ומחיה ומצליח להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיה הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלע. ברוך אתה אדוני חיה הקדוש.
May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may this day fulfill its promise. Praise be Adonai for Shabbat and its holiness.
Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh HaShabbat.
Ever-present one, may we, your people Israel, be worthy in our deeds and our prayer. Wherever we live, wherever we seek you, in this land, in Zion restored, in all lands, you are our God, whom alone we serve in reverence.
Baruch atah Adonai shotcha levadcha beiran navod modim anachnu lach.
We acknowledge with thanks that you are Adonai, our God, and the God of our ancestors forever. You are the rock of our lives and the shield of our salvation in every generation. Let us thank you and praise you for our lives which are in your hand, for our souls which are in your care, for your miracles that we experience every day, and for your wondrous deeds and favors at every time of day, evening, morning, and noon. O good one whose mercies never end, O compassionate one whose kindness never fails, we forever put our hope in you. For all these things, O sovereign, let your name be forever praised and blessed. O God, our Redeemer and Helper, let all who live affirm you and praise your name in truth. Blessed are you, Adonai. Your name is goodness, and you are worthy of thanksgiving.
Baruch atah Adonai hatov shimecha ulechana elehodot. Shalom Raha Yisrael Amcha Tisim Leolam. Shalom Raha Yisrael Amcha Tisim Leolam. Ki ata melech Adon bechol hashalom. Ki ata melech Adon bechol hashalom. Shalom rahav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Shalom rahav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. V'einecha levarer et amcha Yisrael bechol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. תשים לעולם. תשים לעולם.
we take a moment for silent personal prayer, we think about our friends and neighbors, members of our community, members of our own family who are in need of a blessing of healing. We ask God to bless them. On this Shabbat, we are thinking especially about Mariana Anidos, Audrey Aronchik, Deanna Aronchik, Charles Barna, Francine Barna, Baruch Ben Sion Ben Bracha Chaya, Osvaldo Barraza, Rick Center, Esther Bat Ariel, Helen Fagan, Susan Friedman, Marion Gordon, Deborah Hartman, Peter Herrera, Gedalia Ben Ita, Shoshana Cecile Jacobs, Ed Johns, Mindy Elizabeth Jones, Susan Jones, Charles Cantor, Benjamin Lechner, Jack Lieb, Judy Levy, Susan Linzenbaum, Leah Tovabar, Shammai Ben Michael, Robert Parker, Elka Rock, Shaul Ben Moshe Verivka, Daryl Saferstein, Barry Shanerman, Janice Schneider, Suzette Schultz, Simcha Bat Esther, Lillian Stein, Kevin Webb, Sid Weisel, Yudit Bat Rachel Vayanko, Uri Zerach Ben Ruth. Misha Berach Avitenu Avraham Yitzhak V'Yaakov V'Imotenu Sarah Rivka Rachel V'Leah Hu Yivarech V'Yirapeh Et Cholim Kodesh Baruch Hu Yamalei Rachamim Alehem L'Hach Leimam L'Rapotam L'Hach Zikam L'Hach Yotam V'Shlach B'Mheira Refuah Shlema Refuat Nefesh Refuat Guf B'Tok Shar Chol Yisrael Hashtaba Agalav Isman Kariv and Omar. We say Amen. Take a moment for silent personal prayer.
Shalom Imbrama Uyase Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Kol Israel Imru Amen Yase Shalom Yase Shalom Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Kol Israel Yase Shalom Yase Shalom Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Kol Israel.
If I have been slightly distracted this evening, I think I have a good excuse, and that is because we have a guest in the sanctuary this evening. We have a few guests in the sanctuary this evening. This morning, Asher Weisfuse joined Cantor Norman, Rabbi David, and I, along with his parents, Josh and Sierra, at the ocean where he was put into the mikvah as we'll say, a confirmation of his Jewish identity. I don't want to call it a conversion, it's really not, a confirmation of his Jewish identity. And we're really delighted to welcome Asher and his parents up onto the bima. We're going to open up the ark. We're going to invite them to stand in the ark as we welcome him into our community. Josh and Sierra, this day you have come here requesting to accept the covenant of Judaism for your son and all the responsibilities that go along with this. So I ask, do you accept Judaism on behalf of Asher as a living and growing faith?
Yes.
Do you seek to identify him with the Jewish people and with its history, past, present, and future?
Yes.
Do you actively commit yourself and your son to the establishment of a Jewish home adorned with the symbols of the Jewish faith and reflecting an awareness of the Jewish calendar and life cycle?
Yes.
Do you promise to live according to the Jewish ways of justice, committed to improving the world through kindness and social action?
Yes.
Do you dedicate yourself and him to continued Jewish study, ever approaching our sources with an open mind and an open heart?
Yes.
In that case, God and Creator, happy parents have come into your presence to voice the longings of their hearts in prayer. Give them the wisdom to teach Asher to be faithful to the heritage of the household of Israel, that he may grow up with the knowledge that you are always near to him, guiding and sustaining him. Keep open the eyes of his spirit, that he may be conscious of the beauty and wonder of your world. Let him learn to love the goodness that is in man and woman, that he may ever nourish the goodness that has been implanted in him. Though none can escape sorrow and pain, we humbly ask for him the courage to face evil, the faith to transcend it, and the strength to subdue it. Grant him health of mind and strength of body, in order that he may enjoy fullness of years and live to do your will in faithfulness. Mishaberach Avotenu Avraham Yitzhak v'Yaakov v'imotenu Sarah Rivka Rachel v'Leah hu yavarech et hayeled harach hazeh v'yizku aviv v'imo legadlo lechancho lehachmo v'yu yadav v'libo le'el emunah v'nomar amen. May God, who blessed our ancestors Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebekah, Rachel, and Leah, bless this child with life and health. May he be a joy to his parents. May he live to bring honor to the house of Israel, blessings to humanity, and glory to the name of God. And even though Asher is a wonderful Hebrew name, it is even stronger to give him the name that you've chosen for him, Yehuda ben Ze'ev Chaim. Asher Wesley Weiss Fuse, may it be a name that is known and respected for honor and for wisdom. As together we say, Amen.
Amen.
Mazel tov, Simon tov, Simon tov, Mazel tov, Mazel tov, Simon tov, Simon tov,
this year, I gained a new understanding of bread and matzah. I didn't quite get into the COVID bread baking bandwagon, but both of my brothers did. And when they started texting me pictures of beautiful loaves of sourdough, I admit that I had a certain amount of jealousy. I did go so far as to buy a bread baking book that was recommended by my twin brother Jeff, and I read it almost cover to cover. And what I learned is that when you bake bread and you bake matzah, you use the same ingredients, flour and water. Right? The only difference is time. When you are a bread baker, you're always in some stage of the process, growing the starter, adding flour and water to make a sponge, letting the dough rise, kneading it, forming it, baking it, eating it, and then starting all over again. Making really good bread is all about time. It is slow and a deliberate process in the traditional mode. It takes about 18 hours, I'm told, to bake a really good loaf of traditional homemade bread. Bakers say that there is something spiritual about the process. Kneading is like meditation. And as a bread lover, I will tell you, I think eating it is nothing short of a spiritual experience. Making matzah, that's a different story. Matzah baking is all about time as well, but it's about racing against the clock. Time is the enemy of matzah baking. From the time that the first water touches the flour to the end of baking, no more than not 18 hours, but 18 minutes. Matzah making is hardly the same experience as making regular leavened bread. Chick-chock, get it done. And yet, we cannot imagine Pesach without matzah. Even in its plainness, there is something deeply spiritual about matzah. So let me share, as we get ready for Pesach, a few thoughts about matzah. Matzah bends time. When we eat it, we are transported in time. Back to Egypt, back to that great moment when we realized it was truly time to go. So we packed our belongings, fled the nation of Egypt where we were enslaved and oppressed, and left for something better. We left for a better future. Matzah, though, brings us back to slavery. It is lechem oni, the bread of distress. It is the meager portion of a poor person. It is dry, unfulfilling portion of a slave whose destiny is out of his control. Matzah also brings us to a time and a moment of redemption. It is lachman lecherutenu, the bread of our freedom. We eat it so that we may remember the day of our departure from the land of Egypt. Not our days of slavery, but the day we left is invoked when we bite the matzah. Yachatz, the step in the Seder when we snap the matzah in half, is one of the many moments in the Seder when we make a physical sign of the representation of that spiritual lesson. As the matzah is broken in two, we see that there are two different times that the matzah represents: the time of slavery and oppression, and the time of freedom, faith, and redemption. The latter is bigger. It is left to the end. It is the treasured portion. It is the last taste we are supposed to have at the Seder. Matzah Matzah, as the bread of freedom, is the taste of a specific moment. That is the moment when we were ready to leave, the moment when we crossed over to a new stage in life, when everything changed and we weren't even sure what it all meant, but what life would be like on the other side. But we went with speed, running, rushing into the unknown new place, having faith that it would have a better one than the past. Matzah is the enemy of time. With time comes fermentation, souring, puffiness. When we eat the matzah, we invoke the communal experience of slavery and freedom. When we eat the matzah, we are also taken on as an individual and spiritual experience. By tomorrow, hopefully, we are supposed to search out the chametz, that leavened bread, and remove it from our homes. We're also supposed to remove it from our souls. The puffed up nature of chametz represents the character traits of arrogance and conceit. The flat, unleavened matzah represents humility and freedom from the limitations of self-centeredness and arrogance. We can truly experience freedom and spiritual growth when we search out the areas in our hearts, minds, and souls where we have become puffed up, thinking only of ourselves or as greater than others, and therefore blind to the various opportunities that life and community and relationships represents. Only after we acknowledge our faults and recognize our smallness in the world and the greatness of a higher power can we be freed from that which enslaves our souls. Every so often, I remind myself that we should all slow down in our lives, stop rushing and running in order to enjoy life a little more. But today, my message is different. The lesson of matzah is that sometimes some things in life are worth rushing for. And in Judaism, these things are our mitzvot. And a common rabbinic saying that connects matzah and mitzvah, we are taught that when an opportunity to do a mitzvah comes our way, do not let it spoil, do not let it puff up, do not let it turn into chametz. We should rush to do mitzvot. So on this Shabbat Hagadol, the Shabbat before Pesach, I hope you will meditate on the meaning and the nature of bread and the nature of matzah. If you haven't already, I hope you will rush to do the mitzvah of cleaning your homes, removing that chametz, and maybe even distributing it a little to the poor. And as you eat your matzah, I hope you will be transported in time to the journey from slavery to freedom. I hope and pray that for 7 days of Pesach, the matzah teaches us and teaches you many lessons, that it transforms your lives and helps you grow in soul, so that on the other side, when all the counters and tables are covered not in breadcrumbs but in matzah crumbs, and the last guest has left, if we are lucky enough to have a guest, that we will feel fulfilled. Hag Sameach, Shabbat Shalom. May all of you have a joyous and peaceful Pesach. We are going to return to our prayers as we open the ark for Aleinu.
יספח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקי דוכאם, וגורלנו ככל עמונה, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, ונאמר והיה אדוני מלך על כל הארץ. היום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו
At this point, we remember those who are no longer with us physically, but are here in spirit. Remember Dr. A. Clifford Foster, who died over the past 30 days, for whom we are observing Shloshim. And we remember these whose Yortzites, the anniversary of their passing, we commemorate this Shabbat. Philip Allman, Joseph Bomal, Chaim Belloc, Sonia Belloc, Lee Deutsch Berliner, Arnold Byrne, Charles Byrne, Frida L. Bloom, Jack Brenner, Jerome Birkins, Joseph Clark, Miles Cummin, Gussie David Min, Erwin Feinsilver, Julius Fishman, Jack Gelbwax, Anna Goldberg, Jack Goldberg, Craig Gorson, Jackson A. Gould, Morris Haber, Esther C. Harris, Gloria Hartman, Abraham Hirsch, Irving Hoder, Bernice Israelson, Narit Kalimi, Anna Kestenbaum, Stanley Corman, Raymond Lakritz, Harriet Lynn, Sarah Lipson, Anna Meyer, Catherine E. Murphy, Joseph Notice, Max Piken, Lola Lillian Ribler, Jacob Rubenstein, Sarah Saperstein, Marcia Saperstein, Sylvia Shanerman, Saul Schmolowitz, Lawrence Simon, Jack Slavin, Lillian Stein, Geraldine Waldman, Harry Weiss, Herman Winton, Sally Zuckerman, Joan Zweifler. Rise and we join together for Kaddish Yatom, Mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash Shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
Ve'amad yivrach ruteh v'yamlich malchuteh. V'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael. Ba'agala uv'izman kari v'imru.
Amen.
Yehei Shemei Rabbah mevarach le'olam olamei omaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh. Yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal Shemei dekudashah.
Brichu.
Le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata. Tush v'chata v'nechemata. Dam yiran be'alma v'imru.
Amen.
Yehei shlama rabbah min shemaya. V'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru.
Amen.
Oseh shalom b'mromav. Huya seh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru.
Amen.
May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn, comfort to all who are bereaved. As together we say,
Amen.
Amen. I want to wish all of you a Shabbat Shalom once again. I want to say thank you to all of our service sponsors. Thank you to Margot Brilliant and Robert Schwartz in honor of their anniversary. Happy anniversary. And Merritt and Ellen Halem, thank you for sponsoring in memory of Merritt, your cousin, Marcia Saperstein, Jane Hiller and Nancy Simon in memory of your brother Larry, and in honor of the anniversary of your Benot Mitzvah. It's a little hard for me to imagine. It's been so many years. And then Stephanie Hirsch and family in honor of Henry's birthday. Happy birthday, Henry. Thank you for all that you do for our congregation. Thank you to all of you. We have tried to avoid it as best we can, but Pesach is coming. It will be here tomorrow night, which means that you can join us on our usual, regular ways of getting to services on Sunday morning at 10:30 for our first day Pesach service. And then a week later on Saturday, April 3rd, you can join us for our last day Pesach, which will also include Yizkor. On Sunday night, you're welcome to join us. Young children, families of young children, join us for particularly Rabbi David has put together the Silly Seder, just really maybe 40 minutes, wonderfully fun Seder, and you can find that on the Gone at Home Zoom room. And then just an hour later at 6 o'clock, you can join Cantor Norman and I for our second night Seder. We've got some, I keep promising, we've got some tricks up our sleeves, so I hope you will join us for that on Zoom. It will be on Zoom, not on our TSND TV or on Facebook. A couple of other things coming up. Yep, it's, hang on, there we go. At the end of Pesach, when we enter April, and I'm just really looking forward to celebrating my 25th anniversary of my ordination and more than 18 years here at Temple Sinai with a month of activities, all kinds of good stuff. Make sure that you keep your eyes peeled. We have guest teachers every Friday night, starting on the second Friday night of April, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and there's even a 5th Friday of April, and then during the week some fun activities. So we hope you'll join us for that. We are going to, yeah?
Before going, I mean, to the camera, I have an announcement to make.
You want?
Okay, we don't need a slide, but anyway. So the Spring Music Festival is actually coming this spring, of course. As we know, this is it's a difficult year for making musical events, but actually we came to put together a very interesting, wonderful program that will include many, and I said many because there are really a number of the artists who actually are returning to Temple Sinai in my 10 years here. So we brought so many great names like Rick Recht or Navateila or Yonina and all of these, Stan Nichols, and many of the names that you know and the music that we do here. We have really like over 10, 12 artists that are coming. We are going to put this together. So the reason I'm announcing that even without a slide that is going to be produced by next week is because there is a task for you to do. One of the things that we are going to do is we are going to interview this artist. So if any one of you want to shoot a question, to ask a question to this artist, if you really ever imagine to ask, let's say, Rick Recht, what would you do, or what have you written something, whatever you want to ask, there will be an opportunity to do that. So I want you to stay tuned because on Tuesday on the Sinai Scene, I will provide you some guidance of how you should be doing that if you want to participate. Because if you want, really, there is an opportunity for all of you to do that. So that's to give you a heads up. So stay tuned for this coming Sinai scene. You will receive some information.
We will end our service, our closing song, particularly appropriate for this right before Pesach, when we are not even invited, but we are encouraged in every generation, we're obligated to see ourselves as if we had come out of Egypt. B'chol dor v'dor chayav adam lirot et atzmo ki'ilu hu yatsa mitzrayim. So we join together with cantor.
B'chol dor v'dor chayav Adam lirot et atzmo כאילו יצא ממצרים בכל דור ודור היה אדם לראות את עצמו כאילו יצא ממצרים בכל דור ודור היה אדם לראות את עצמו כאילו יצא ממצרים כאילו יצא ממצרים בכל דור ודור היה אדם לראות את עצמו כאילו יצא ממצרים כאילו יצא ממצרים.
We join together for Kiddush and Motzi.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם בורא פרי הגפן. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר קידשנו במצוותיו ורצה בנו בשבת קודשו באהבה וברצון הנחילנו זיכרון למעשה בראשית כי הוא יום תחילה למקראי קודש זכר ליציאת מצרים כי בנו בחרת ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים ושבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת. אמן. לחיים.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Shabbat shalom.